As a child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one to work while they all play. And you'd lay awake at night and scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream. Here we are, don't turn away now. We are the warriors that built this town. The time will come when you have to rise above the rest and prove yourself. Your spirit never dies. Farewell, I've gone to take my throne above, but don't weep for me, 'cause this will be the labor of my love. Here we are, don't turn away now. We are the warriors that built this town.
In telling the story of my father's life, it's impossible to separate fact from the fiction, the man from the myth. The best I can do is to tell it the way he told me.
If there was one thing you can say about it, boo-boo,
was that I was intended for larger things. I was the biggest thing Ashton had ever seen.
From the imagination of director Tim Burton.
most men, they'll tell you a story straight through. It won't be complicated, but it won't be interesting either.
Did you ever think that maybe you're not too big, but maybe this town is just too small?
They say when you meet the love of your life, time stops. And that's true. Your mother was never supposed to marry me. She was engaged to somebody else.
Forget it, kid. Don't waste your time. She's out of your league.
You don't even know me.
Sure I do. You were hot stuff back in Hickville. But here in the real world, you got squat.
Now, I may not have much, but I have more determination than any man you're ever likely to meet.
Andrew Templeton, I love you and I will marry you.
I was dried out.
Dad, I have no idea who you are.
What do you want, Will? Who do you want me to be?
Just yourself. Just show me who you are for once.
Discover an adventure as big as life itself.
In telling the story of my father's life,
Bravo Company, go!
doesn't always make sense. But that's what kind of story this is.
Big Fish.
Some of you get it, some of you don't. That's fine. What's going on, guys? Alrighty then. So, it's Wednesday. It's the end of March. It's noon. So, I'm on. What are we going to talk about today? Let's start with this. The Raid. 2009. June. At this point, Fenn directed SU-6129 and Schneck to his office, where he asked SU-6129, "What do you have perishable for sale?" 6129 asked what he was interested in, to which Fenn replied, "Atlatls." An atlatl is a prehistoric throwing device, and an intact example of the artifact is considered to be extremely rare. SU-629 explained that a colleague was in possession of an atlatl that was from 9 Mile Canyon. As they spoke, SU-629 recorded via video recorder numerous feathered headdresses along with the wall of Fenn's office. Fenn then remarked that he had, quote, other perishable material in my vault, and invited both SU-6129 and Schneck to visit his inventory. A subsequent review of the video by U.S. Fish and Wildlife agents confirmed that it was highly likely that the headdresses in Fenn's possession were made of bald and or golden eagle feathers. You see what's highlighted here, right? 9 Mile Canyon, which, by the way, is located in Utah. We have 9 Mile Canyon. We have 9 Mile Hole. We have 9 Mile Bay. There's a 9 Mile Texas. We have people associated with the editing and publishing of Ha Ha Ha, where it's 9 Mile Falls in Washington on 9 Mile Road. Oh, I know the other guy said 9 Mile Canyon, though, not Forest. Hold on. Was Fenn mad that he couldn't purchase said atlatl from 9 Mile Canyon? Was Fenn mad that this is even brought up? It's point 23. I don't know that matters. But if you're Forrest Fenn and you're reading all of this in 2009, do you get angry? Do you start to go, you know, fuck these guys. What I'm doing is fine. F them. I'm going to do what I want. But now they've crossed the line. They've invaded my property. I'm Forrest in this scenario. They've taken my laptops. They've taken my computers. They've taken my items from this property that I own and land that I have bought. Is this what activates him to start the treasure hunt? Is this what makes him decide, you know what, fuck them. I'll get them back. I'm going to put this thing in a national park and send everybody looking for it. Just to piss off the government. And on top of that, I'll put it in the biggest national park in the country. And on top of that, they gave me the idea, 9 Mile. I know of a little fishing hole I used to frequent with my dad. Sounds perfect. I'm going to make it work no matter what. I'm asking, is the raid what causes Forrest to hide the treasure? Is this partly a matter of revenge? This man had years to hide this treasure. Let's pretend he started working on it in 1988, just for sake of argument. And it took him 15 years to write the poem. Well, then the poem's done in 2003. The spot has been picked. The chest obviously is around. Why do we know the chest is around? Because we were told also at the end of this, oh, maybe he bought it in 2006, right? Well, we now know, reevaluating things that other searchers have talked about, scrapbook 14, where Fenn and Donna Karen are, his hands are over her shoulder, the chest is in the background. I'm going to get that photo for you. Fenn.
Donna Karen?
So it's Donna Karen, right? Except in the scrapbook, it's written as Donna Karen. And we all know what I'm trying to say about Karen jokes in the book Ha Ha Ha. That's just an aside. Scrapbook 14. Calls her Donna Karen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you all have seen this, and if you haven't, you should. There's the treasure chest right there, and there's the gold frog right there. Now, if you look at Donna Karen, I've age compared her. Donna Karen. This ain't Donna Karen in 2010, 2009, 2008. No. This photo is at the bare bones minimum to the year 2000. This is before 2006. So we know he has the treasure chest. We know he has a fully written poem in 2003, if we follow the 15-year rule, and he started in 1988. Why does he wait until 2010 to announce a treasure hunt? And again, I'll show you Donna Karen in 2010. Hold up, I might have one.
The designer, right?
Yep.
Her name is Donna Karen.
Donna Karen, sorry. It's spelled Karen. Okay, all right. So this image is from August 2010. Do we see a distinct age difference here? Because I do. A huge age difference. This photo is from a long time ago. Why did he wait until 2010 to hide the treasure? Is it because something happened in this raid that just set him off and said, all right, I'm doing it? What do you guys think? Where'd my lighter go?
Here.
Oh, you have it. Thank you, boo. She's got a Blackberry in 2010. I know, right? I said the same thing. Where'd that picture go? Yeah, look at that crackberry. Although I had a Blackberry in 2010, I'll admit it, it was still useful for quick business. If you're doing quick business on the phone in 2009, 2010, you're not using an iPhone, actually, in my opinion. You're still using a Blackberry. Just FYI. That doesn't mean much, but I'm telling you, like, I used a Blackberry for my managing nightclub days, and that was all work on the phone. So, for what it's worth. According to Preston in the documentary last week, he finally hit it so he could watch the chase and enjoy it before he got too old. Again, he's waiting till 80 to do that? I know he lived till 90, but I don't know that any year is guaranteed once you get to 80. Like, why wouldn't you do this at 70? And really enjoy it. I don't get it. I don't get waiting till 80, I'll be honest. Unless it has something to do with the story, it has something to do with Eric Sloan. He needed to wait till he was 80. I don't know what the reason is, but I think there is a reason he waits till he's 80. And I think he hints at that through giving us this convoluted timeline of, I worked 15 years on it. Oh, I know I've been quoted I've worked 15 years on it, but my memory is fuzzy. I think he gets fuzzy on the numbers of the exact timeline, just like he does with 09 versus 10, because he doesn't want to give that as a clue. Well, if it was 09, and if it was right after, let's say, I don't know, a month after, would that not be a clue to the raid? And then if you got a clue to the raid, and you saw 9 Mile Canyon, and you knew there was a 9 Mile hole in Yellowstone, would you not think maybe that's a clue? Was he worried that the 2009 raid itself, if you found the details of it, would actually present a clue? The informant who was originally going to talk after the suicides was murdered. Is that SU-6129? So there's 3 deaths in this thing, not just 2? I know there's the 2 suicides, but I didn't know that the informant was murdered either, or I forgot it. I don't know. Might as well I didn't know. So there's 3 deaths with this thing? This could be why my archaeology folk in New Mexico in 09 were like, stay the fuck away from this guy. I don't know if the raid was public yet. I think it was. So he was fresh in the news, and I had no clue. At least 3. Oh my goodness. At least 3. So If he's saying, I don't want to give away a clue of 09 verse 10, and he states, oh, it's because you could get my rental car records. You know, sure. This is a guy who said he would fly in everywhere. I don't know. I never really bought that as the reasoning. I always figured 09 verse 10 must be a clue. a real clue. If it's 09, this explains it, does it not? 9 Mile Canyon, come on. You know me, I'm not the purveyor of 9 Mile Hole. I hate it. I love the fact that it's 9 Mile Hole because it connects to 9 Mile Bay. But lo and behold, here's 9 Mile Canyon. Now a pattern is forming, and it's one that's almost impossible to ignore. 9 Mile Canyon, 9 Mile Hole, 9 Mile Bay, if you want to even buy into the remote possibility that Fenn was either influenced by Ha 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 or read Ha 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 himself and solved it himself or wrote it himself. Either way, that solve brings you to 9 Mile Bay, where Clark Gable films his first and last movie, catches or is in a picture with world record trout caught. I mean, 9 Mile, 9 Mile, 9 Mile, 9 Mile, 9 clues, 9 Mile. I mean, shit. Probably something else happened in 09 that really pissed F off. Just a thought. Are you off, Boo?
In a few minutes. Hey, boys. Come on.
Brown is also in that file. Yeah, there's someone named Brown.
Love you.
Love you. Oh, there's like
Now
sparkly
you're
shit.
sparkly.
Gross, babe. Love you. Bias stacked on top of more bias. Listen, Jen, I'm not the one who even had a 9 Mile Hole solve. I didn't. This isn't bias. It's not my fault that these 9 miles connect. Does it even mean that the final spot for the Fenn treasure is 9 Mile Hole? No. Remember, I still take it under consideration that the whole 9 Mile Hole solve is still being pushed by the powers that be. Not K-Pro, well, maybe Dale. No, I think Dale got fucked over. So not K-Pro, not Dale, not Cynthia, but maybe Cynthia. I don't know about Cynthia. But powers that be being Fenn Enterprises, whoever the fuck is in charge of that. Doug Preston, the lawyer, Shiloh, whoever. I think they are pushing 9 Mile... Jack, I think they're pushing 9 Mile Hole. I don't know that means it's really 9 Mile Hole, but it's being pushed for a reason, just like if Jack's a fake finder, like some of you think, okay, well then Jack was picked for a reason. What he's saying is still not irrelevant, even if he's fake. He's part of the game. Then what he's saying is relevant. So even if you think he's fake and he's part of, if he's fake, then there's a game. If there's a game, he's part of it. If he's part of the game, then he's relevant, and so are his words. So-called informant was failed businessman due to drug addiction. He was paid 10 G to buy a vehicle, then 7.5 Gs a month to frame people. Jesus Christ. What some don't know is that the informant called one of the suspects and tipped them off about the raid the day before it happened. I think that was Fenn. All right, so do we know? Is this like documented that that the informant tipped somebody off? Obviously, we don't know who, but is it documented that he did that? God, that'd be crazy if Fenn was the one tipped off. Jesus Christ. Look, this is the dirty part of this chase, I think. And it's a side that I don't think many like to talk about publicly, maybe for fear of pissing the family off, fear of pissing Fenn off, fear of pissing just people off. But as soon as I saw 9 Mile Canyon, that's it. Whether 9 Mile Hole is real or 9 Mile Hole is a fake solve, once I saw that, this becomes relevant. Pandora's box is opened, as Forrest says. So this is, in my opinion, fair game. I mean, I think most of you would consider this fair game even from the get-go, but certainly now more than ever. You had to go deep to find it. Well, Indy, if you could send me any of those documents or even an article where he talks about it, that'd be dope. I think I read this. I read a very in-depth article, not court documents, but I read an in-depth article about this. And I remember them talking to me. It was one of the first things I did when I was deciding to actually get into this or not. I said, I don't know if Fenn is guilty of this particular raid or not, or if it's a culmination of guilt versus innocence on a lot of events that have happened over his life. I know I was told to stay away. I know morally wanted to stay away for a little bit, but I did change. My views on archaeology evolved and changed too, and probably closer to Fenn's point of view. There's no difference what the professors and grad students taught me they were doing versus what an amateur archaeologist would do today. The reason archaeology got so hoity-toity was because amateur archaeology prior to academia was ruthless. It would ruin sites. They would blow shit up and not give a fuck and try to get to whatever they're getting to. Archaeology before academia stepped in was a mess. But then academia stepped in, and like all things, there was an equilibrium and a balance there for a second, and then it went off-skewed for archaeologists, and then, they got big in their britches. So I side with Fenn on most of these, on most of his larger concept thoughts on this kind of thing. And even reading that article, I knew that there were people who died in this thing, but I figured, look, that's not Fenn's fault if anyone else is committing suicide, just like it's not his fault if someone dies searching for the treasure chest. And I wasn't sure. I came out of this this topic in the way beginning for me anyway, way beginning. I came out of this topic neutral on it and just letting it be. But again, now that I see 9 Mile Canyon here, just its mere mention alone on something so important to Fenn's life right before the hunt starts, and now it seems like the powers that be want us to believe it's 9 Mile Hole, whether it is or isn't, I can't ignore this. Is it possible Fenn did a deal, information for leniency type thing? I would think that would be public, but maybe it's not public, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know. It's a good question, Dave. It's a good question. Have you read the stories about the suspects, the carved bird, the heartbreaking set? Yeah. No, I have, Indy. It's fucking oof. It's deep. That's why, and honestly, that's I think why a lot of people just don't want to talk about this. It's very deep. I don't know how else to put it, but yeah. Later on, Fenn was able to turn the tides and sue the BLM/FBI specific to this whole raid, and I think he used that to his advantage for the chase. Well, yeah, if you're like an untouchable, almost, like you got to sue back and win, or at least clear your name in some regard, then you almost feel like, yeah, fuckers. Either way, it feels as if this raid does play a role into something of this chase. It does. What's up, Packer Jack? I just don't know what role. It could just be like yo, FBI, you crossed the line. You caused these people to commit suicide. I didn't do shit wrong. I didn't break a law. I did nothing. I followed the law perfectly, in fact. I was grandfathered in on this. I did that. Fuck you, FBI. I mean, honestly, that's why I'm kind of getting to with this. Does the name tag thing work anymore? What? Name tag thing? What are you talking about? Packer Jack, I feel like you have more to say there besides Ben. Fenn being the one tipped off makes sense. Right, but that's conjecture. I mean, we know Indy is pretty adamant here that the article will show that the informant certainly tipped somebody off. We just don't know who. And like I could scroll through the whole fucking thing if we want. I just don't find that pertinent. The rest of this raid is a raid. There's other things. But I went through it as fine-tooth comb as I could. I don't think anything, that's my personal opinion, I don't think anything else had anything to do with the chase, aside from the overall aspect of this. But this specific point 23 with 9 Mile Canyon, my God. Comment you posted about the article. Something not many people pay attention to is the original article that I believe started all this, The Mother of Indiana Jones. Yeah, I feel like people talk about that article a lot, Indy. I hear enough people at least chatter about it on the message boards. So, I mean, I hope enough people have read that article. I would suggest you all go do that if you want. What I would suggest doing is Wayback Machining, Old Santa Fe Trading Co. because the Mother of Indiana Jones article he writes, the original, was on the old Santa Fe Trading Co. website, and it is available via Wayback Machine. So I would take it to the source, go to old Santa Fe Trading Co. and read Forrest's words, because that article also, I think, also persuaded me in 2019 as well. I know the real article posted in 2000. Is that the one? I've read the real article posted in 2000. Is it different than the one he posts on Old Santa Fe Trading Co.? In which case, yeah, reverse what I said. Read the original, not the Old Santa Fe Trading Co. I've read both, so I can't remember which one was the original and which one isn't at this point. It's all mush in my fucking head. There is someone impersonating me. May I hide them? Yeah, go for it, Huli. If you know it, go for it. Huli, you're the wrench of all wrenches. You can do whatever you want. You know that. Why did Packer Jack just jump in and say Ben and then jump out? That's so ominous. Ben, I have a chest update. Ben, don't talk about Forrest like that. Ben, I agree with you. Ben, I disagree with you. Ben, Gary Drayton says hi. I mean, I don't. Ben, did you see Oak Island last night? No, I didn't. It has been disappointment central, though, has it not? Ugh, lately. Huli, I'm not actually in the YouTube, so I'm not looking at... Hold on. I mean, you can go ahead and do it. Do whatever you need to do. Or do I have to ban them completely? Hide user on this channel. Alright, I believe I got the right one. There we go. Wait, then it says King Catcher Jim King was... Oh, unhidden. Okay. So much shit just happened. I don't know what's going on right there. Ben, can we talk about Justin versus Paul? Huh? Why would I want to talk about Justin versus Paul? No offense to Justin or Paul, but I couldn't think of two people I'd rather talk least about. I butchered that line. He accused me of being gay and Ashley's brother, and that we have a fake marriage. I mean, who cares? Oh, because of Entity Gate. It was between Justin and Paul. Was it? Like, as in, like, they were the ones bidding for the chest privately with Jack? Oh, Jackie boy. Jonathan K. Steve. But yeah, as far as the raid goes, that's my stance on it right now. I think there was... The truth is always somewhere scattered in the middle, is it not? Gray areas everywhere. You know, I do find it interesting. I would think Forrest would understand that people would look this up, specifically when he's doing a treasure hunt, like in 2010, right? Maybe not in 2010 because it's so localized. You would think he would really think that people would know about this and look this up. So, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they were doing a bidding war. Oh, jeez. I don't know. Did it really happen? I mean, they both kind of say they did, I guess, but, like, do we have any proof of any of that happened? I mean, I stayed online for 36 hours straight. 2 days straight. For nothing. Thanks, Justin and Paul. Fuckers. At least Paul's still around. Where's Justin? Were those his cameras? Is he taking them down? I'd love to make up with Justin, but I'd want him to understand where my issues came from. I'd need to understand where his issues came from, because I don't understand it. Treasure Warriors, is the number 9 a hinty clue? I think it must, right? I think it must. That doesn't mean it's 9 Mile. I get it, but I think it must. Read your last comment. Fucking Indy, I'm not going to read all of your comments, by the way. Jeepers creepers. All right. How about the rumor about someone blackmailing Justin and using that information to possibly turn the tides with the bet? Is that I don't remember that one. Is that new? Was it ever even confirmed those were Justin's cameras? Like, right? Like, could I have been fucking slandering him the whole time? If so, I apologize. But no, from what I was told, and this is always how it worked from what I was told, but it sounds like 100% they're his. I think he's even admitted to it. Like, I don't think it's even a secret anymore. Read my comment below. Okay, Nomadic. What about my issues? I've got issues with something. What are your issues, Nomadic? Tell me your issues. First week of April, I will have all the answers about 9 Mile Hole. You can bring a metal detector, Paul? Like one of those foldable ones you can, like, you know, throw in the backpack? Paul has videos of Justin putting the cameras up. I'd say that's pretty conclusive. Have you posted I know you posted that picture, which we all know whose truck that is, but, you know, he could have just been parked there. Right? I mean, who knows? Assuming you have videos, it sounds pretty undeniable. Endless loop. That's your issue. Because I'm reading your comment below and above, as above, so below. What are we talking about here? So what do you guys think about 9 Mile Canyon? You guys think this is nothing? Like, even if, let's pretend, and I'm asking the hypothetical, let's pretend 9 Mile Hole isn't real, right? Let's pretend it's a fake solve. You still don't find this weird? Like, what if there's a jar at 9 Mile Canyon? What if there's a jar at every place named 9 Mile in the fucking country? Oh, shit. That's fucking brilliant. 9 miles in the country, one of which has the treasure chest. The other 8 have the 8 jars. 9 Mile Canyon's in Utah, Paul. Ben, draw a semicolon. It's a hole with an... Fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It really does. It's a hole with a 9 below it. Son of a bitch. Boy, I gotta say, live on camera, that is the best fucking hint from the poem I've ever seen. Staring at me the whole goddamn time. A 9 with a hole above it. It's literally, the 9 is below the hole. Ah! It's 9 Mile Hole. Oh no! Ah, that's brilliant. Oh, that's fucking brilliant. Fuck me. Time for musica. Wow. Brain exploding live on YouTube. What do I do for brain explosion music and still keeps Susie happy and safe? Davio, man. I didn't want it to be 9 Mile either, buddy. We have to be willing to let go. Oh, man. And it's that in conjunction with everything else, too. It's just not that by itself, but that is the poem confirming the poem. The semicolon serves its purpose. Yeah, it does. Oh, my God. Search. I'm gonna do some Westworld music. Wow. Pack or Jack? Is that why he said Ben? Ben, I'm gonna break your fucking brain. How many semicolons and ha ha ha? I don't know, about 7,000. It's a fucking 9 with a hole over it. Ah! Fuck! Now I'm having the kick myself moment. My hole. Which, oh my God. My brain literally actually hurts. Like there's physical pain happening. Honestly, yeah. If you're saying the semicolon was like it's its own blaze in the fucking poem, yeah. Look quickly down from fucking Home of Brown. It rhymes. Look quickly down from Home of Brown as you're about to cross the Madison at 9 Mile Hole. It's right there. Just go right the fuck there and fucking look around. You'll find it. Ugh. I don't like this one. God, that was annoying as shit. Thanks for shooting. No, sorry, I changed that one. That was awful. Oh, man. I know some of you are going to hate 9 Mile. I get it. I still do. I mean, so many quotes are bullshit. I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know. Oh. God almighty. I know. I need out too, Jen. If you find a way out, let me know. Send me an email. Ah! You know, I'd rather it be the 9th green golf solve than 9 Mile Hole. What about the turtle dove and the word we found, Saint Protector? Where does that fit in? Fuck if I know, Indy. Red herrings. The second story. You know, there's still a second story, right? There's still something in the olive jar. The chest is still a lure for the story. So I still believe there's hints in that book to something other than the treasure chest and the thrill of the chase poem solve. But Forrest crossing the Madison River at that spot with 20 pounds of fucking gold on his back at 80, no fucking way. So maybe he hit it in 03, and he hit it when he was in his early 70s. Okay. I guess I buy that. Then let's find out that he fucking hid this thing much earlier than 2010 or 9. Oh. Why a duplicate chest? I would like to shove someone down 9 Mile Hole. If it's 9 Mile Hole, I quit. I know. Fisher King, Ben. I mean, why a duplicate chest? Honestly, you know, last night I'm telling myself I think I'm more on board with the 2 chest idea now more than ever. It's just... Oh, man. We have Tarzan and Indulgence. We have Fenn having the chest prior to 2006. We have Fenn acquiring a replica chest in 2006. We have double Omegas. Looks like a sperm going for an egg. Well, you could say he's umbilically attached, couldn't you, Nomadic? Boom! Kill me. Kill me now. Oh my god. This is a kick me moment for me. Selfishly, personally, I was looking for a kick myself moment like Fenn promised. There it is right in front of me. He felt like an architect drawing that poem. 9 Mile Hole's guarding the real spot and it's frustrating. I mean, he felt like an architect drawing the poem. Ugh! Ignore the punctuation at your peril, or the other punctuation, sure, but... Fuck. It always seemed Fenn would get that bracelet back before he died, but at the same time, it wouldn't be found for 1,000 years. I think there's a second chest out there, and it's much, much harder to find. All of this just focuses me to ask one question. What time is it?
Smoke weed every day. Hold up. Smoke weed every day. Hold up. Smoke weed every day. Hold up. Smoke weed every day.
Are there 9 commas? I don't know. There's 9 sentences, right? Ten commas. Yeah, there's 10 commas. But isn't there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? I thought there were 9 capital I's in the poem. Whether it's the beginning of a word or it's the word I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's 9 capital I's in the poem. I always thought that was a hint of, or a clue of some kind. The 9 capital I's. 9 I's, because he goes alone and he's alone in 9 Mile Hole. Fucking Christ, it works. Ah, it works. Ah, fuck me, it works. I mean, what's the question mark backwards? Just another fucking 9 with a hole, right? I mean, Christ. Well, not really. In the mirror it would be, but... I felt like an architect drawing that poem. That fucking semicolon. Oh, man. It's so simple and so precise. Doesn't get me to a football field-sized grid search, though. That part of Jack's story still doesn't... Nah. No way. That part of Jack's story was... And then, of course, this 9 Mile Canyon on the raid. It's kind of all coming together, isn't it? Or at least on, you know, all the synchronicity that's happening. If we want to call it that, if we don't want to call it confirmation, it's certainly synchronicity. Not this one. You don't like this one? This is no words, right? Oh, because it's based on a song. Okay. I need my background stuff. I thought you liked the word list. What about K-Pax? Was that cool? I think K-Pax is alright. Because it's just all original, blah, blah, blah. Baby steps. Still wear this one to the bone also. I'm not wearing it to the bone. I don't know. If anything, maybe you pass by 9 Mile Hole going down the Madison. I mean... Look, I don't like 9 Mile Hole still. I still have a lot of issues with it. But god dang, that semicolon thing... I can't unsee it either. I can't unsee it. It's so sad. Oh, hey, Shy Guy, by the way, I saw your video talking about ARPA Or did I say that right? I know exactly what we're talking about. I don't know exactly what we're talking about. That's what I wanted to say. I looked into it. What my understanding was, it just basically stops fucking amateur archaeologists from digging. Like it's just like it's like an agreement between the government and Native Americans that like nobody just gets to willy-nilly go to a place with archaeological artifacts that could be considered a site and just start digging and going, okay, well, we dug this is ours now. Like it started like the permit process, if I understand. I could be off, man, don't quote me. And then specific to national forests that you were bringing up, the national forest stuff I think just falls under the purview of it, much like Akiva would fall under the purview of it. A Native American site on tribal land would fall under this purview because it's in concordance, same as a national forest would. Just as it's our land on the national forest, it's the Native Americans' land as well, and so both lands are subject to this act, and so it basically just legitimizes archaeologists. I'm getting like Conan O'Brien here. So I'm like looking ridiculous, and usually I don't care, but like I watched Conan and Paul Rudd's little 5-minute clip of their podcast. I was laughing my butt off. Ashley made me watch it, so I had Conan O'Brien's hair in my head. But Shy Guy, I hope that answers your question that you were asking. I tried looking more into it. I couldn't find anything aside from jargon that would just confuse both you and me. That really clears it up. I tried to see kind of more how it was used in the real world with some Google searching and going back into, I think I even asked one of my archaeology friends. He didn't respond, but I'm pretty sure though it was something just as basically an improvement over the previous law, which was I think called the Antiquities Act. I'm pretty sure. So 9 Mile Hole's the fake Blaze, right? I mean, I still want it to be my spot on the fucking Madison, guys. Like, don't get me wrong here. I just think 9 Mile Hole is just home of Brown, but that's not where the chest is. And you still have to figure out more clues beyond that spot. Like 9 Mile Hole is home of Brown. Fine. Okay. Fine. The semicolon, much better than me using the book to associate, brown stained underwear with Mount Haynes. All right. The semicolon beats that. It just does. But that means it's home of Brown at this point. I don't see how I'm grid searching a football field size area as a solve to this poem still. Don't see that, for sure. Now tell me how it was in Yellowstone. I mean, I don't know why. This fucking raid tells me why he put it in Yellowstone. Because he's got like a vendetta. Susie, have you ever met Douglas Preston? No. I would love to, though. Boy, would I buy that guy a beer. I would buy that guy whatever drink he wanted. I would try to see if he smokes the ganj, little toxie of the old joint. Have a real talk. But I would suffice with alcohol that destroys your liver over time. Sure. But I would like to meet him. I doubt that's ever happening. But a boy can dream. Send you animation in Messenger. Is that to me or is that somebody else? What is this animation you've sent me, Bill? That's funny, actually. Hold on. Can I just... Oh, I have to... Okay. All right, I'll just do this for 2 seconds. That's funny. Good stuff, Bill. And Packer Jack, obviously, thank you for sending that. You see the courtesy of Packer Jack on the bottom there. On the, right there. Well, I gotta fucking control this. How are we all doing on Wednesdays? I like Wednesdays. Wednesdays have been good days to have this little chit chat. Feds couldn't act on their evidence against Fenn if Forrest put all his illegal artifacts in irrevocable trust. Yeah, I mean, he could. If he has a heads up, he can do whatever he wants, right? If anybody has a heads up in a raid, you can do whatever you want in that raid, basically, right? I mean, that's why you get a heads up. Packer Jack is clever. I'd say so. Packer Jack, did you come up with this, man? Like, what the fuck? Any Karens don't like today's content, send complaints to Ashley Power at P.O. Box 687, semicolon. Heading into 2-hour meeting, double semicolon, have fun. All right, peace out, Packer Jack. Begin it equals home of Brown, where warm waters halt. I like that too. I likey beginning it being in the same spot as home of Brown. I know Brent likes that too. That's kind of where my head's always likes to be at. The concept of staying at where warm waters halt, not necessarily staying in place, but not driving away from where warm waters halt. Your warm waters halt is where the home of Brown is. And halt, by the way, there's still traces of warm water along the Madison coming from the fire hole, from the from the fire hole. And so when we're down into the Madison, that water is dissipating rapidly, but it's still warm waters at some level. And then there's a spot in the Madison where it becomes just cold, right? So maybe that spot on the Madison is where warm waters halt, and it just so happens to coincide with where home of Brown is, which is 9 Mile Hole, is where the water starts to get cold. Is that true? I don't know. It would make fucking sense. Gibbon is warm as well. Okay, so the Gibbon feeds warm water into the Madison. Fire hole will feed some warm water into the Madison. The Madison itself is still cold though. And it becomes cold at a certain point, right? So is that where warm waters halt? It doesn't halt at the junction. It halts a little downstream from the junction. Look up the definition of the word halt. There's multiple definitions of the word halt. It could be a temporary stop. I mean, listen, I thought it was a metaphor, man. I thought warm waters halted because they were comfortable waters of the Yellowstone Madison River, and they halt figuratively at the border, and it's only temporary because it's a figurative line in a map that stops it. Nothing really stops it, and it exits the park, and they're no longer comfortable because he's not in the park. That's how I interpreted warm waters halt. Apparently I'm wrong. I don't know. What's the male equivalent of a Karen at Packer? I think Packer went back to work. Without the right warm waters halt, you have nothing. Am I right? The thrill of the chase was Forrest's Blaze life adventures. The begging is the end of the chase for Forrest, but begins the chest finder for the chest finder. I don't know what that means, Kiwi. I'll keep elaborating there. Come to an abrupt stop. That's one interpretation. There's multiple definitions, are there not? Home of Brown confirmed as trout to me is laughable. Well, it's not the trout itself, right? It's this portion of water where the trout congregate as their home, where there's a plethora of them, right? So it's not the trout itself. The trout is the Brown, but the home of Brown is just that portion of the water. And so you put in below the home, so you put in below that portion of water. I'm just interpreting it as I understand it. That doesn't mean I buy it. Teachers with Ropes has a halt. I know. I mean, I get it. You're following the Brownian motion. I'm just explaining the way I interpret the way this 9 Mile Hole solve works. Again, I'm not saying I buy it. The semicolon, though, got me going crazy. Warm water is equals no oxygen for the fish. Colder the water, the more oxygen, better fishing. I mean, I think that's basics, right? The chase was Forrest Adventures. If he were to find his beginning more WWWH, that would be the end of the chase. Location of the chest, and the adventure, and the end, and ends the chase. And a new blazed adventure begins with the finder. Well, then the finder needs to fucking do something. Last I heard, the finder was a guy who has college debt to pay and needs to sell the chest. That was roughly 2 years ago. So, what's the finder waiting for? Holt my wife's name out your fucking mouth. I made a tweet that night, or the next morning, without seeing anybody else make the tweet, so I don't know if anyone did, but I did quotes of like Will Smith saying, Chris, welcome to Earth, with the F, Earth. Welcome to Earth. That was fucking nuts, but I think we're all over that shit, right? I mean, we went through a whole day of that day or two of that shit, and like we're over that now, right? Okay, good. Fuck Will Smith, he was wrong. You don't slap fucking comedians. You don't censor comedians. Ever. Alright. Soapbox over. Yeah, what the fuck is the finder waiting for? Can we get back to that? The government is going to forgive all student debt. Well, also, yeah, that would be the route I take. Like, the fact that he was even whining about the student debt, I was like, bruh, you're not paying your fucking student loans. None of us are. Because that shit's going to get wiped away anyways, and we all fucking know it. Whether we agree with that financial policy or not, it's going to happen, and I'm not going to get fucking left behind paying 60 grand while everyone else gets fucking wiped away for free. Nope. I'm going to fucking put that shit off till the day I die. Till it happens. I'm kidding. I barely owe anything at this point. I fucking was an idiot and paid that shit. I paid like 80% of that. I think I still owe, but it doesn't matter. I don't know what else. I mean, look, the price of gold maybe he's waiting for. Maybe it's already been sold and we don't know it. What's to stop that from happening? The chest has been sold. We don't know it. And it's March 30th, 2022, and that chest was sold 3 months ago. What if the chest can't be sold? What if there's items in that chest that don't necessarily pass the old legality test? I'm just asking questions here. What if there's a reason he can't sell it, and the reason is he legally can't sell it? And there was like a catch-22 curse to this chest. Haha, you found 22 pounds of gold. Precisely. You found 22 pounds of paperweight. Have fun. And it was the fool's chest. The location poorly chosen as the easy one, and Fenn made 2 sols. I mean, there's lots of answers here that a finder could put to rest very easily, but chooses not to. So, I ask again. Why can't the chest be sold? Because as it seems right now, the chest can't be sold. Or it would have been sold. Or has it been sold already? We just don't know. That's how fucking clueless we are all at this juncture. Find the doctor, find the chest. You know, Jack Stoof ended up getting his MD, right? Find Jack Stoof, find the chest. Oh, God, please don't do that. Don't do that. Jack Stoof, MD. Jack Stoof, MD. Because the universe has a way of course correcting things. Maybe Q? I'm quoting Lost on that one. The universe has a way of course correcting. It does. Maybe it was sold. Come on, dude. Throw us a bone. I'm literally asking the question. Could it possibly have been sold? And literally no one knows. I'm not saying that because I have some inside info on that and I'm asking a question hypothetically here. I'm not. Or hypothetically to convey a point. I'm not. I'm hypothetically going, what if this shit was sold and we don't fucking know? And we never know. Because it got sold to, like, you know, Nick Cage. And Nick Cage doesn't have any fucking interest in saying anything about how he has the Fenn treasure chest to any of us. He just has it in his fucking room. And maybe one day it leaks out from some fucking tabloid and there's a photo taken in it of his home and you can see the chest in the background or some shit. Like, I don't know, man. There's a few people out there with money who could buy this chest and we would never know. What about amateur archaeology ties into the story? What do you think? Actually, it's to go on display for a long time for all searchers to go see if they want. I mean, wasn't that like the cutesy-wootsy hypothetical, but nothing more than that? Damn Cage. Maybe Suzanne Summers bought it. If there is two, which is worth more? The one 6 people died looking for, or the true chest that hasn't been found yet? Galaxy, I would hypothetically say that we don't know that these 6 people weren't looking for the... Let's pretend in this scenario that there's 2 chests, okay? But for this hypothetical, let's just make them of equal value. How do we know that these 6 people weren't looking for that other chest as well? Maybe they were onto something. And that's why their search zones were not in Yellowstone 9 Mile Hole. Hypothetically, if there's 2 chests, there's 2 locations, right? So people, I think all of us maybe at some point didn't know that we were looking for 2 chests if it turns out there were 2 chests. There might be people who say, oh, I knew we were looking for 2 chests since day one. Fine. I think most searchers were thinking they were looking for 1 chest, the one he hid in the poem. Maybe some people argue differently. But overall, I think most thought they were looking for 1 chest. So, you know, to know now you're looking for 2, it would feel like a complete surprise. And basically you go, huh, was my spot maybe the spot where the second chest was? Maybe I should go back to my spot now that's in New Mexico. Or go back to my Colorado solve. Because there's a second chest out there and maybe I missed it. That's what this kind of shitty ending is inviting. Powers that be, who don't want anybody to get hurt. That's what this kind of shitty ending invites. Because there is enough evidence out there to justify that there could be a second chest. And if there's a second chest, there could be a second solve to the poem because the man himself put 2 omegas at the end of his fucking book. 2. 2 endings. Not 1 ending, 2 endings. He invited this. If there isn't, you people that powers that be need to come out and say so. You just do. Whether you think it's your responsibility or not, it is now. I was looking for any chest that was worth $2 million, precisely. I just hope if there's a second chest, I would hope that there's a second olive jar with that story in there, because that's all I'm in it for. I would assume not the same items, though. Like the dragon bracelets in one, not in the other. You know, there's going to be like gold coins and rare coins and different nuggets in the other one. And, you know, some of those jewels and emerald-looking things. And maybe the emerald rings in the other one. And other jewels that we saw in that fancy schmancy 2016 photo. Maybe we'll see some of that in the second chest, right? And they're both equally as difficult to find. One's not harder than the other. I would then flip this and say maybe there's one above 6 Mile Hole. I don't know. Or there's no second chest out there. And this is pie in the sky fantasy dreams. And there's really just an emerald ring. A true needle in a haystack. I think there's enough people with power that are still quasi-involved in this chase that could come out and say something and put a lot of people's thoughts to bed. Brian, you want to smoke a bowl? After my cigarette, let's smoke a bowl. Ben, wouldn't it be foolish, though, to prove the chest was hidden on Native American burial grounds? Oh, 100%. I hope you gave that chest back to that Native American tribe, because that's about all you can do. Or you leave it there. Take it, sure. You have paperweight. And you're most likely going to jail. Even with your paperweight. Because someone will see your paperweight and say something. And it sounds like 2 catch-22s as well. It sounds like, oh, you know, you found the chest in Yellowstone. Congrats, you got legal issues. Oh, you found the second chest, or the first, depending on which one's found first, on Native American tribal land. Oh, can't take it with you. Literally, can't take it with you would be the theme, legally speaking, of both locations. Can't take it with you. That's the catch. I'm not getting into that, Indy, because that's into research I'm still doing. And it's ha-ha-ha research. So, I'm not getting into that yet. My gut tells me the Emerald Ring has found a home. Ooh. I would hope they'd make that announcement too, if that's the case. I wonder if 4K plus gold bars and 5K plus and silver bars, Spanish minted, makes me wonder how much that is worth in today's market. Cue Aerosmith Dream On. I know. Packing a bowl of Durban Poison. Oh man, I had Durban Poison a couple weeks ago. Get out of my research, Ben. Woman, I told you fucking Fisher shit way back when too. I said our shit was crossing over. We're both finding the same specific family lineage last name. You knew that. You get out of my research. That's a weird K-Pac song. The ending is so crazy nobody will believe it. Well, that's kind of what I expected from a Forrest Fenn production. Because that's what this is, right? A Forrest Fenn production. What is a good treasure hunting story without a twist at the end? Name me one good treasure hunting story where there isn't a twist at the end of some kind. He knows that. Even the pirate tales, there's a twist. Come on. There's a quasi twist even in Goonies. Okay? National Treasure, there's certainly a fucking twist. They out-twist themselves sometimes on National Treasure. Indy, I was quoting Q. Q said that the Emerald Ring found a home, or Q said her gut was that the Emerald Ring had found a home, and I said, oh really, Q? The Emerald Ring has found a home? Always a twist, Brent. Always a fucking twist. Brent, look at your clock, my friend. Are you looking at your clock? I need to know. I need written confirmation that you are looking at your clock. I shall wait. What time is it, sir?
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
Oh, we held that bad boy in. I can feel it on my teeth. You're ripped. Yeah. That was for you, Brent. This little ditty is called New Mexico from the movie K-Pax. Ooh, it got like cloudy again. It's been weird weather here. It is crazy thing that after 17 years, 1.7 years, we are all still here waiting for something, semicolon. I don't know if something is coming. Come on, Jack. Right? Should we write him an email live? Let's write him an email. I've written him like way too many at this point. I write him at least one a month. Some of them questioning some things I'm hearing behind the scenes. Some of them just like trying to say, hey, what's up, man? And never responds. That's okay, though. I get it. I get it. I'm kind of a pest, I think. Even if he cares, which he probably doesn't about me. But if he were asked to care, he'd go, well, no, not Ben. He's a pest. I think I fall on pest level. I wonder how he'd rank his favorite YouTubers. What a conceited question. But I bet he'd go, I hate them all. They all suck. Can I rank number 1 for Jack? He'll say watching paint dry on YouTube. Ranked 2 through 1,000, everybody else. All you fuckers. That's probably how he would rate it. But I also don't think he can get away from it. I think he's addicted just like us. Even with a solve. Even with a chest. And actually what Jack is doing is he knows there's a second chest, and that's what he's actually currently doing right now. He's been looking for the second chest this whole fucking time because he has a heads up. Because that's what you get as the solver for the first chest. You get the heads up. Everybody else has to figure it out. Ooh, that'd be naughty. That'd be naughty, Jack. Let's email him. Yeah, let's email him. Let's do it. Ooh, Jackie Jack. Jackie Jack Jackerston. Why is the music getting all creepy on me? Just lower that, Jesus. Alright. Let's hope no weird shit pops up on my Gmail while I do this. Jack. What should we say? What should... Naughty. Naughty. Is it nutty or is it naughty? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. What should the subject be? The subject should be... something about like 2 chests. But it's gotta be catchy. It's gotta be catchy. You gotta catch his attention with the subject heading of the email. Hashtag Team Jack, should that be the subject? I feel as if that's pandering, and he would not. That would make him hit delete right away. In fact, I think that would that would make him hit delete, Dave. We can't do that. Jack, you have been very naughty. Honestly, at this point, that's the leader. Until someone tells me something otherwise, Jack, you have been very naughty. I need the comma. Let's go. All right. Jack changed his email address. That's fine. This email still gets emails, so he still checks. This is an email address that still has an inbox that receives things. Whether or not he ever opens this email, I don't give a fuck. Very, very naughty. Ooh, I like that better. Very, very naughty. Just very, very naughty. Very, very naughty. Capitalize it. VVN. Yes, very, very naughty. Jack. Jonathan. Jonathan. Is that how you spell Jonathan? I don't know. Ooh, I should make this bigger, shouldn't I? Yes, yes. Excellent. Excellent. Jonathan. Is that how you spell Jonathan? Yes. Let's go with it. Enter. Hello, good sir. How are you? Let someone else email Jack. He might answer someone new. Yo, I invite anybody to email Jack whenever the fuck they please. He put his email out, Doc. You go for it. Who's saying you don't have to? You can. I'm sending my email. Huh? Are you buffering Simple Pleasures? All right. How are you? Do you think he'll understand the accent here? And send. How are you? He could read it like a how are you? Ooh, maybe we should write this in pirate voice. Yar, how are ye, matey? Ah! Jonathan. Yar. How are ye, matey? Sippin' on the coconut on the beach somewhere warm. Yar. Me hopes you've found comfort and contentment in all your plunder. We have to change the title now that it's pirate stuff. Yeah. Ahoy, me Jackie boy. Should I do you ahoy me Jackie boy? That's ridiculous. No way. We'll keep it at ahoy for now. The scallywags and piss pots hopefully haven't turned ye away from the crew of faithful plunder hunters. It would be considered parley if ye were willing to drop a bit of knowledge. Don't spell it correctly, fucking Google email. It would be considered parley if ye were willing to drop a bit of knowledge on your loyal crew. Who's his loyal crew? I have no idea. May I suggest you just email him, "Hey Jack, what's up?" What's up doesn't work. I'm trying something different. How about it, Jack? How about it? No. How about it, Jack? Signed, Captain Benjamin R.K. You don't think I'm going to send it, too? Boom. You didn't think I had the guts. See if that gets a response. It'd be funny if Jack were watching you write the email to him. This is the day you will always remember as the day you almost caught Captain Jack Stoof. I was doing it in what's the bad guy pirate's voice? They're more like guidelines. This will always be the day you remember as the day that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. I don't do a good Jack Sparrow, but I could do the other dude. Jack's response, "Dear me hearties, F off." I would love that if he sent that. JF, that would be the initials you should be concerned with. Of course, I know. It was an homage to JF, Brian. You picked up on it, though. Good job. It'd be funny if Jack's cousin was watching Ben write an email to him. Sometimes you just gotta take risks in life, guys. Sometimes it's okay to look like an idiot sometimes. It really is. I suggest doing it. It's fun. Not caring what anyone really could say. It's fun. I was about to give you all some Ferris Bueller soapbox shit, but I won't. I guess I'll open up the topic now that we have 9 Mile Canyon out of the way. And we're talking about the fucking raid. What's another topic of du jour that the folks want to discuss that's maybe a little out of bounds, but I'll still deem if I want out of bounds and I won't talk about it, but... Appreciate you. My comment gave Ben a heart attack. I was just trying to match your little squiggly emoji face right there. I think I did a good job. You sprained your foot last week. Ah, fuck. Lost 4 days of work. Fuck, dude. I'm sorry about that. That happened to me. Well, twice actually. But once I was bartending, and it was like I missed a weekend. It was Vegas will know how this works. Memorial Day. I missed Memorial Day in the nightclubs. I lost so much money that weekend. I barely paid rent. I don't think I even paid rent that month. Come to think of it. Treasure Warriors. Could Charlie Brown be the home of Brown? Absolutely, Davio. I'm not 100% on anything, my man. I'm not. I get it. Everybody has their solve. That still isn't proven wrong yet because nothing's come out. As long as technically if you're abiding to the rules and not thinking Wyoming means anything but Wyoming, which again I could still understand if you say Wyoming means something completely different than the state of Wyoming. I could even get that argument. But like, you know, those of us who had Colorado or New Mexico or Montana solves, unless your solve in Montana is right on the border of Wyoming, or unless your Colorado solve is right on the border of Wyoming, I guess that could qualify too. Any border of Wyoming, really, qualifies. And then within it. I mean, unless we're getting into the whole metaphorical fucking nonsense of... And I'm not... Sorry, it's not nonsense, but... It's just, if that's the case, if Wyoming just means like a fucking state of mind, then like... okay. All right. Was this thing even hidden? Like, you know what I mean? Like, at that point, I just question everything, so... Thrill of the chase is the best thing that ever happened to me. Thrill of the chase is the most fun thing that ever happened to me for the short amount of time where it was still the thrill of the chase. Whatever we're in now, I don't know if it's the thrill of the chase still. If it is, fantastic. If it's not, ugh. If it's some kind of sequel, if it's some kind of part 2, 2.0, if all good and dandy, but I think it's time we get something official if that's the case. Whatever official the fuck is. And if it's not, then it should be. Then that word should come out. I think enough time's gone down where nobody's really crossed too much of a line here. I don't think anyone's broken a law yet. Maybe they have, and I don't know about it, or I've forgotten about it, and you've told me, whoever you are, and I'm sorry if I've forgotten about it. I don't know. I can't keep up with everything. I'm just saying, like, I think we as a community overall have shown, like, pretty good, like, we're all right. We're good peoples. Like, we can handle whatever the fuck just went down. Just tell us what went down. That's all. Enough of that rant. So what else are we talking about? Because I got a while today, kiddos. Wednesdays are my days for this shit. So you got me for a while today. I'll just start doing research. And then you're stuck with me doing DB Cooper stuff. So, and I know some of you don't want that. So if you don't want that, give me a good topic. What are we in now? The agony of the rabbit hole, maybe. I mean, worth the cold? I mean, you could even fucking say that. This fucking poem, man. If nothing else, the poem is genius in that it gives you 1,000 bazillion solves. Can we all come to that agreement? That no matter what happens with this official solve, whether it's 9 Mile, or it's related to 9 Mile, or 9 Mile's fake and it's somewhere else, and there's a huge... whatever. This poem was absolutely, positively written in a way that you could take this anywhere you fucking want. I know there's some precise purists out there who think they have like a cipher solve and there's actually no way this poem... I'm not even saying that. I'm saying think about it. Is this poem written in a way where it's to distract from your precise solve that you have at home that you believe is right? Don't you agree that this poem was also written in a way there could be a zillion other solves, but not as good as your solve, but other distraction solves or red herring solves? It was written in a way that ambiguously was enough so that the treasure hunt would last long, because a lot of people would think they have a good solve when they don't, right? That's not saying you at home, your solve is incorrect or correct. I'm just saying it was written in a way where everybody else at home could think they were right when they were wrong, right? I know it was designed to be a place only where Forrest has walked. I understand that, but at the same time, I think there was complexity involved with some of the word changes where he did do a thing or a change here to make it go, huh. Well, right away, he admits there's a million blazes. There's a million where Warm Waters halt north of Santa Fe. I mean, I'm just saying, I personally think part of constructing this poem was making it difficult, but not impossible, right? He says himself he made it difficult. How else do you make it difficult but write a poem that's ambiguous that leads 1,000 other searchers in 1,000 other directions than you? whether you're right or wrong. We're in the cold now. Was it worth it? Fuck, man. We're still in it, so we can't even figure out if it was. The poem took me through all 4 search states and some amazing places. Glad I stumbled upon the chase, even with the crappy ending. Yeah, and I'm still afraid to even call it a crappy ending because I don't necessarily know that we're at an ending. If there's another thing here with this double, there's enough reason to ponder if there's a second ending. I know it comes across on the surface as wishful thinking, but there's evidence to support the theories that are out there. Whether any of them are right, I don't know. That there's a second chest or a second quest to be had. That could just be as simple as the blind search for one of these jars out in the desert in the mountains. Or it could be as complex as the poem has a second solve to it. At a completely other different location with a completely different chest with completely different contents. I don't know. Good solve involves you walking in forest shadows. But to ask Forrest to walk in your solve is pointless. He wouldn't walk in your shadow. That's a good way to look at it. I like that. The chase led me to the Padre mine. From using one perspective on another history hunt for treasure. What up, Tyler? You get a kick out of all those crazy kids, Q? Oh, I'm glad. Are you part of the social experiment that's going on that you're just making fun of us? You sipping your wine at your vineyard while your slaves of all races and genders and colors and identities put together your TV and like have grapes for both you and your husband while you eat and watch us lose our fucking minds? Is that what you're saying you do, Q? You're one of those rich people at the end of ooh, I don't want to spoil it. Never mind. you get it if you know it. What on earth does "if you've been wise" mean? Again, I've tried to force feed that into the 9 Mile Home of Brown portion where if you've been wise means I as you are going to search to the west, the south, and the east of where you're putting in because north is now behind you at your back. So you're going to search to the west, you're going to search to the south, and you're going to search to the east for this blaze. That's the only force feed I could put in for "if you've been wise" at 9 Mile. Otherwise, take your whatever your "if been wise" is at home. Like, I'm trying to apply it to the 9 Mile hole and find a solution that makes sense to me. And "if you've been wise," the closest thing to a solution to me that makes any lick of sense is using the west, south, east directions to look for a fucking blaze, and that's the hint to indicate you're grid searching, I guess. I don't like it. I hate it. So, but I haven't heard a better "if you've been wise" for 9 Mile hole and a grid search. I haven't heard it from anybody who thinks 9 Mile hole is the solve, and I haven't heard it from anybody who, owns the treasure chest or knows Forrest Fenn. The real chest is filled with his prized possessions. I bet his arrowhead is in there. So you're saying the contents in the Jack Stu find were not prized possessions? What were they? Throwaways? C star, wise equals Yellowstone. Okay, but if you've been wise in Yellowstone and found the blaze, where does that mean grid search? Where does that mean cross at 9 Mile hole and start looking around? Where does that tell me what a blaze even is? There's holes in 9 Mile hole solve. And I've heard all the arguments for 9 Mile hole. The best argument I've ever seen now is that fucker right there. That makes me go, oh, shit. At least it's telling me. I don't know. I need a Coca-Cola. That's what I need. having gained experience. I know, and you could fit that with 25 days of grid searching. After 25 days of grid searching, you gained enough experience to find the blade. Ben, where are you at with like GPS or the like? Q, it's funny you say that. I don't know if K-Pro knows this. Maybe I emailed, maybe I didn't. I was definitely in chat saying it. I had actually found the same GPS coordinates with the same homophones using the same methodology of flipping back up to the beginning. Almost at the exact same time as them going live about it. It was crazy. I really like that solution. It disregards contextual solve for actual physical clues along the way, or even if that's on a map. So I had issue with it. I wondered if it was a backdoor solve of some kind and not the real solve. Like you could solve it the old-fashioned way, not with 9 clues, whatever that is, and then the GPS is some kind of backdoor into it. I wasn't sure what to do with it. Then they went live about it, and then I got to see everyone's opinion on it, and I got to think more on it. The more I pondered on it, the more I was with everyone else going, I don't know. Especially when I saw the spot, I was just like, I don't know. You know, it had the missing chunks out of the trees in that area. If you were going to tell me that was a blaze, I mean, that's a pretty traditional blaze right there, to the definition and the history of the term. And it kind of pinpoints because you do look quickly down because you're looking at both, and you look down, right? Because you have to look at both to see it. And you look down. And it also fits your double omegas. And it fits your double blazes. So the GPS did answer a lot of spots. At least physically on the ground, that location, seeing it, that location fits a lot of the criteria I had in my mind without much of a visual behind it. I tried not to have too much of a visual. If I said to myself, if it's traditional, like Native American, like we're talking chunks out of a tree, or I mean Boy Scouts, like the old-fashioned chunks of a tree indicating something. I tried not to imagine what that would look like, to be honest, unless I saw something in the book. Seeing what I saw from what is believed to be the hypothetical blaze from that spot was very traditional and lackluster to me. But so be it. There were 2 of them that sufficed to me for the look quickly down portion of it as well. So it had a lot going for it, I thought. I didn't understand the hatred of it, but then it was, again, the first real solve that came out, and it got a lot more of the vitriol. Because the more apparent thing happened from that point, from a sociological point of view, and that is people hated solves that weren't theirs. Plain and simple. If you didn't have GPS, you fucking hated it. If you didn't have 9 Mile, you fucking hate it. If you didn't have Mount Haines, you think it's fucking stupid. If you didn't have Quake Lake or Cub Creek, you're stupid. If you didn't have this spot in Colorado, you're stupid. And I don't mean that to anyone in particular. And I don't mean to say any one of you has said you're stupid because you don't believe in my solve. I'm just saying overall that was the sentiment that any kind of official solve got. It's very apparent whatever the solve ends up being is going to piss off a lot of people. Whatever the real solve is. It's just going to. Davio, case in point, man. I don't mean that spot in DeLacy. I mean working with the homophones. I don't like the kangaroos and wraparound. I like the wraparound because you begin your looking for the numbers at beginning. And you have to go through the entire poem. So in order to go through the entire poem, you have to wrap around to the top and do that first stanza last. I liked that because of his backwards bicycle comment. I liked that because of Best Adjust. I really, really liked it. I mean, I was starting to read the poem from bottom to top just to see if it fucking worked. Like every word in reverse. So I was fine with the wraparound. That was already part of my theory of why would Forrest give us begin it in the poem and tell us the first clue is where Warm Water halts. The connotation he's giving is that the first stanza is almost insignificant. He wants you to think the first stanza is insignificant and skip to begin it, but there has to be a reason for that if he's not using subterfuge and lying to us. And that means we have to just remember to wrap around back to the top. I didn't mind wrap around. Kangaroos, listen, water is not waiter. It didn't say waiter. It's water. I don't care if it's A-T-E. It's not A-T-E because it's not 8. If he had said he ate a sandwich in the poem, then I would use that as an 8. It was water. I don't use it as an 8. Does that make sense? And just scientifically speaking, the fact that multiple people got the exact same GPS numbers with the exact same methodology, independent of one another, and it led to a precise location in Yellowstone, oof, that fits a lot of criteria I also had in my head. I almost didn't believe it would be something like that because I figured something like that would have been found a lot sooner. That was one of my hesitations with GPS, was how was this not found sooner? Because I'm speaking honestly, I found it in March of whenever, I'm getting the years screwed up, whenever they went live with it. Like, it hadn't been announced yet. I hadn't heard a word about it. I just was like working with the poem still because we hadn't really gotten to solve yet, right? So I was just trying to still work the poem. And when I was working the poem, I was like, holy fucking Christ, numbers, GPS. But you know, it was late. I'm not trying to claim I had it before the chest was found, but I thought about it though. But again, I told myself, no way. Then this thing would have been found already. There's a kid crying outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it. The GPS is interesting because it does lead to Yellowstone. I mean, the chances of that were crazy to me, and that they're in the poem. Again, it felt like backdoor to me though. It didn't feel right. I was just like, is this a cheat? Is this meant to be found? And I was about to say, okay, Bavetta, thank you. And then Fenn says, let's coin a new phrase. But go through my Reddit. I believe I said all the time, at least in chat there, mother effers, stop saying. I've even said it now. I've fallen victim to it. But stop saying solve. You don't have a solve. Without treasure chest, you don't have a solve. Okay? So, and then I see this Fenn quote. Let's coin a new phrase. You can't have a correct solve unless you can knowingly go to within several steps of the treasure chest. That to me screams GPS too. You have to have a GPS-like precision. How about that? You have to have GPS-like precision. It was an idea in 2015. Okay, great. Did they get the idea wrong though? Did it have the wraparound to it? Did they use waiters instead of and when they shouldn't have been because it's waters? There were issues with the first round of GPS as I understand it. And it explains a scrapbook too. So who knows? It goes along with reading the poem out loud to a kid. Numbers that you can hear when you read it out loud. Exactly, precisely. Hear me all and listen good. Hear him. Hear him. He is the poem master. Hear him. The only way you can hear him by reading the poem with no access to his interviews is by speaking his words out loud. And then you can start to hear the numbers. Read my poem carefully, slowly. Read it slowly. Listen, 10, good, 10, 10, 10. It's very simple, precise, gets you to an exact spot, happens to be in Yellowstone. Frankly, I don't know why Justin left the idea of GPS. He was 100%, he said it, we all heard it, and then he changed his mind, which we're all allowed to do. I don't know why he did. Because the testing of soil didn't come out? I mean, honestly, at this point, let's be serious. Let's find a damaged blaze instead of testing soil. Let's work together and find a damaged blaze and a nook instead of finding soil to test and just guessing. An old idea that failed. How can you say failed, dude? Like, how can you say failed? could say your idea failed. You don't have a treasure chest, right? I don't have a treasure chest. Every idea failed without a treasure chest, surely. How do we know this one wasn't the one Jack used? We just don't know. I don't care that Jack said GPS is wrong. Jack's not going to say if GPS is right. Jack's not going to tell you if you have the right solve. Get that through your heads. At a time when he's answering everyone's emails, he's just going to lie. Yeah, no, that's wrong. Very, very easy. How are you going to know? What, do you find out 5 years later? Oh, we found out you were lying, Jackie boy. He's gonna, okay. As he's sitting in his, new house. Which is why I don't listen to Jack. Or if I listen, when I say I don't listen to Jack, I don't listen to what he's saying. I try to figure out what he's saying. Because he's saying something. It's just not what he's saying. What's up, Chris? Ah, shit. Nobody will admit Forrest was good at math. Nobody will admit Forrest was good at a lot of things, it seems. It seems like everybody likes this whole, oh, don't mind me, I'm just an old-timer fool. Like, it was a persona. He was a brilliant man. Brilliant. Brilliant in what he did well. And he knew it. I think you have to be good at math to have advanced as fast as he did, right? In his Air Force Academy, right? Now, evil genius, I would, let's see, the jury is still out, right? A brilliant bluffer. I like that alliteration. Well done, Dave. And possible, yes. Brilliant bluffer. But sometimes to bluff well, you have to hold cards at some point. Home of B round. Home of own B. B equals B. I mean, I've looked into that, Bob. I'd like that. I like that Bumblebee popper he gave me, but... Term of endearment. No, I know how you meant it. I know. I just honestly... In the literal, I'm almost like, well, the jury's still out on that too, though. Mapping and triangulation. Right, yeah. You can't be a nitwit and be as good and be as good as Forrest was at that. So, if you're going to tell me that because Forrest was such an avid fisherman, and that because he did it all the time, that therefore it's no longer specialized knowledge because it's Forrest, it's not specialized knowledge, fishing on the Madison, okay. Well then, score one for the mathematics nerds of the poem, because guess what? He also was an avid mathematician in a weird way. He was a very smart man. Most of his time spent at some of his interviews, what's your favorite time period? He will say his Air Force time. So, if that's the case, if his Air Force time was his favorite and not fishing, why can't it be an Air Force solve in the grand sense of the word? He was just as good at that as he was as fishing, at fishing. So if you're going to tell me fishing is no longer specialized knowledge in this poem because Forrest Fenn says so, all right, well then neither is any of that fancy spancy schmancy radar techno shit. That's right, I did it as an ignoramus on purpose, for the point. Forrest said he needed to know my dog's name, and then he named the fake finder after my dog Jack. See, like, if some of this shit is, like, written down and the timing of it is, like, precise, like, if he asked the name of your dog, like, 3 years prior, Bill, then, like, come on, man. You're just connecting things that sometimes don't need to be connected. If he asked you that, like, 2 weeks prior to Jack's name being announced, or, I mean, if he asked you that at some point over the summer of 2020, let's say, then okay, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't even want to play into it because it's so fanciful, right? It's out there, dude. John Titor, a movie is coming out this year and I'm in it. There's a movie about John Titor this year? Fuck yeah, come on, really? It's about damn time. No, there's not. There's that shitty one in 2009. Oh, there's like one on Amazon from 2010. But like, what are you talking about? What you talking about? What movie? Yikes. Checking text, y'all, don't worry. Film by Nina Martinek? Huh. Forrest gave us the poem and the map. That's all you technically needed. The TTOTC would help you. I mean, I can't even comment on the validity of this until something happens officially. If we're left in the cold forever, like, what the fuck? Ugh. The Loran. Well, I mean, come on. I think Loran is just an indication that I think Loran tells a story with GPS. You're finding Forrest's precise location where he thought he was gonna die, but then he got better, right? Well, in My War for Me, the way I interpret it is that night in the jungle, I think he thought he was going to die. And he didn't. So, if for GPS to work, there's just got to be a story behind it. The story, I think, would then be, we're recreating the finding of where Forrest Fenn thinks he's going to die again. He thinks he was going to die in the Laotian jungle. He thinks he's going to die at this spot for the poem. Therefore, what was used to find Forrest? His GPS location, right? Loran beacons were used in World War II, even into Korea, the Vietnam War. If you use GPS to find a precise spot, then hypothetically for the narrative, at the chest location would be a Loran beacon. Probably underneath the chest, which also in turn, when you lift the chest up, would go set off the beacon, fulfilling the story, concluding it, and then allowing Forrest to know that the chest has been found. Now, when you ask Forrest, how do you know the chest has been found? And he goes, I can't tell you, that'd be too much of a clue. If he told you a Loran beacon was at the location and that was going to tell him that the chest has been found, well then guess what, ladies and nerds? I think a lot of us would jump to GPS in a heartbeat. It'd be too much of a clue. I think there was a Loran beacon underneath the chest. What's up, Nine Fingers? What if GPS coordinates were given in photos, hand positions, just like codes are given in famous paintings? Skippy has 24 going on page 54. Oh, totally. Totally, John. And frankly, I'm wondering if there's other GPS coordinates in this book that tell you where some of the jars are. So maybe if there's other numbers that we're pulling from this book, we can pull together and find, oop, there's a location somewhere else, and lo and behold, there's a jar there. And the consensus is to disregard GPS? I don't know what the consensus is these days. I think, like everything in life, people should always be willing to go back and reapproach ideas, even if they've dismissed them outright. With no actual evidence to anything so far out there, I think it's worthy of reapproaching. I like the GPS conversation. There's not much to be had about it. It speaks for itself. You could argue the Waters Waiters thing, but to those of us who believe in the Waters Waiters, it's just like it's like a full stop conversation. Like, it's not Waiters, it's Waters. So like we won't have that conversation. Like we can have the discussion. We'll listen for the umpteenth time, but like we get it. It's just we don't see it that way. And we don't get why you don't see it our way. I mean, that's really how it is, right? So, I think there was updated technology of the Loran beacon. I mean, maybe it was updated. I don't know. The more updated it is, the more on the grid it would be. So I would actually be, I would be expecting something older, but enough to work, and it sets off a signal somewhere in West Yellowstone, and that signal, bat signal goes off, and Forrest is notified, or whoever's in charge of the chase when Forrest is passed, because if the chase is still happening, they're notified. They don't ever even need to know the location. They're just notified by someone in West Yellowstone, like, hey, a beacon went off. I was told that that's when the chest is found. I don't know anything else. And I'm just supposed to let you know. Okay, thanks. And Shiloh hangs up. The chest has been found. Don't know anything else, but the chest has been... I mean, that's... I would expect that's what would have happened with Loran beacon at the chest location. Makes perfect sense, and it also goes into what a possible solve would be, which is GPS. You tell me at the end of this, GPS was the actual solve, and I'm like, okay, thought so. Shit. That was a kick me moment too. But, this 9 Mile Hole stuff, who knows? I just, there's GPS numbers that kind of take you to 9 Mile Hole if you play around a little bit with them. I don't like those as much. I like the DeLacy Creek GPS numbers better, but... And you'd have to... Loran uses a frequency transmitter receiver, so a Loran transmitter is not feasible to put under the chest, as I think it is a high-power device that goes on a tower, but I don't know. Well, I think the idea is it's off the whole time under the chest, and when you lift it up, it turns on, and it has power stored already in it for the moment it's turned on, and like the sun hits it, and then and basically it only has enough juice to like transmit like I think like 20 miles or something like that, and so it would hit barely West Yellowstone. I don't know, man. I honestly I don't know. But I do know Shiloh fucking dropped that for a reason in chat. That was him. I don't know why he dropped it, but he did. And the receiver would be tuned to its frequency to detect it. Yes, 100%. I just think Fenn would have set that up with, one of his connections in West Yellowstone, where whoever he's setting this up with doesn't even know what he's doing. Fenn was a master of compartmentalization. He could get 1,000 people to fucking help him with something, and none of them would have any clue what they're helping him with if he didn't want them to. That much is very evident to me. Idle battery still drained. Oh, totally. I would think he only sees it working for 10 years or 10 to 20 years. I don't think he sees this as a permanent solution to knowing when the chest is found. If the chest is found in 30 years, it's like, well, what does he care? He's just trying to help out Shiloh or whoever takes the baton in this hypothetical. And that's only for a little while. If no one's found it in 30 years, it's probably not going to get found for a fucking 100. So, I mean, it's a possibility. There's a reason he dropped that word in there. It was either to fuck with people or it meant something. Either way, I read into both as information. Because it is. That's what it is. It's information. He didn't have to joke in the chat about it and bring it up. Okay, I get that, but he said, didn't he say Loran more than once? And he said it with like an exclamation point, and this is the same dude who's saying, oh, DB Cooper, that's an interesting story. Notice I didn't talk about that. Right? There's Shiloh's very tricky as well. We've come to know. You could read that the other way. Yeah, I agree. What's up, Sparky Sparks? The infamous GPS will never be correct. I would believe a different method to find the numbers than how they force those numbers. I don't see it as forced. Honestly, I don't. You take the numbers that only sound like numbers in the words, not waters, because it's not waiters. Otherwise, then it would be an 8. It's very precise. And you start your numbers with begin it. And then you flip back to the top when you're done. That's exactly how I would have imagined it. I think the location was under very tight surveillance. Nobody would set foot anywhere on that property without Forrest Fenn knowing about it. Well, that you redneck believe that he has it hidden on private property, right? Like, it's a controlled environment. It couldn't possibly be a national park. That's ridiculous. Like, I get it. I'm not mocking. I'm saying that. Like, that's ridiculous. So it's something that he can control all the way to the end. Even if he's to pass, he could pass on that control to somebody else. And because only one has the secret still, because nobody's found it. I can totally see that working. I don't know. It's not arbitrary rules. The ones that sound like the actual numbers. There's nothing arbitrary about that. Fenn even course corrects this in a scrapbook. And I didn't even pay attention to the damn scrapbooks. Like I said, I think any solution that comes out as the positive solution is going to be looked at as ridiculous at this point. It's going to come down to that. No matter what comes down from this. Where's the chest? Is it still a Heritage just collecting dust? They added together because of there'll be no paddle up your creek. Add up. The poem justifies it. Add up. Except for the fact that the poem also says add up. The treasure will be found by the one who best adjusts. A Forrest Fenn quote. You could apply that to, yeah, you're looking at 2-2 and you didn't add them up. That was your problem. because there's no paddle up your creek. If you're plucking out things that you're hearing with homophones, then you can pluck out add up. And then add up tells you what to do. Oh shit, I'm supposed to add up these numbers together. If I see two numbers, I add them up. Got it. Boom. There's the adjustment. Gives me a precise spot in Yellowstone. Bam. Alone is the only one I would say has the best argument, Q. I'm with you on Alone. I cheat and use Alone for 1 because it's right there, as spelled O-N-E, as opposed to 8, which is A-T-E. But I'm with you. That's the biggest stretch of the whole thing. Honestly, I'm with you on that one. But I don't consider that painfully forced. I consider a lot of other solves painfully forced. I don't consider this one painfully forced. If it was painfully forced, it wouldn't take you to a spot in Yellowstone. This should have taken you to somewhere in the fucking Atlantic Ocean. If you were just forcing numbers out of it, you should have gotten taken to a random spot in the ocean. Honestly. You got taken to a spot inside the national park that he talks about in his treasure hunting book. That's a ridiculous coincidence. And despite methodologies that don't seem clear, either from independent people, they still get the same spot, though. So what if we only use the numbers that we can hear? Indy's selling her Fenn coin right now. I don't know how I got the same spot in DeLacy as they got in the same spot in DeLacy without ever talking to them, Outcast. Susie, these GPS numbers existed before the solve. Might have even been what led to the solve. Again, I'm not behind it 100%. I'm just trying to explain it the way I understand it. That's all I'm doing, guys. That might have been a complete red herring. Purposely put in there just to fuck with you. I could see Fenn doing that. So what if the chest was buried just under the ground, literally just on the far bank at 9 Mile Hole, without a recognizable blaze? It would sit unfindable until someone came along with a metal detector. But it wouldn't just be buried just under the ground, unless you're not believing what Jack is saying. Because he's saying the lid was visible the day he found it, once he stumbled upon this shit. So if the lid was still visible in 2019 or 2020, then after years of weathering, that thing was probably even more visible in the beginning. So if we're saying it was buried just under the ground purposely, then it would be much more buried under the... It would be buried under the ground 10 more inches, I think. And so yes, sure, it would be... you would be unable to find it without the metal detector. Because it's 10 inches under the ground at that point. But I don't think Fenn buried... I think Fenn placed it. If he placed it on a depression already, into a depression already, and the soil was soft, that thing is going to sink over time and bury itself. And that's why he didn't want to answer that question either. He saw disturbed dirt, but in the shape of a square, right? Like... Doesn't that make it visible? I know it's his words are the words are fucking annoying, but I'm pretty sure he makes it apparent that the lid is visible. Maybe I'm reading too far into it. A depression on the ground does not seem like a nook, in my opinion. Well, I would hope, Nomadic, I would hope that it would be depression along with, roots in a way that look, theatrical and create a nice little nook, right? Or something that would protect the chest from even being seen from the naked eye. Just because there's roots all over it, you really do have to get within like 6 feet to fucking see the chest in there. Like, I would imagine there'd be something else with the depression, yeah. There you go. You have a possible buyer, Indy. An actual pirate coin that came from... How much you selling that for, Indy? Send me a picture of it. I'll post the picture. I might want to buy it. Maybe I won't post the picture. Yar! You say it's a pirate coin, do ye? I think that belongs in me drawer of coins. I think Ashley's taken me coins. All I have is me dude coin, which is still glorious. But where are me other coins? Did any of you guys check out my ha 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 reading? I hope you did. I should put a link to that shit. Make sure you catch yourself every word of ha ha ha. Previously seen on the Treasure Warriors channel. Heyo! Coming at ya! Barbarisi, as he searched something on the ground, caught his eye. A bit of disturbed earth, something unusual protruding from the forest floor. Protruding, so like it's visible, right? If it's protruding, it's visible. I listened to Story Time with Uncle Ben. Stoof began grasping at straws, thinking of bringing out a metal detector or some form of ground-penetrating radar. I mean, I would think at least on that ground, you'd have to tell yourself, shit, if you place it in any kind of depression, that shit might be underground at this point. I take that as the earth is protruding, not the chest. Interesting. Hold on, let me go back to it. As he searched, something on the ground caught his eye. A bit of disturbed earth, comma, something unusual protruding from the forest floor. So you're saying that disturbed earth is the unusual protruding from the forest floor. Yeah, I suppose you could see that as that. Yeah. That's a good point. Well, in that case, I guess then you can't say the chest was visible. Fair enough. All right, I'll stop saying that. I don't necessarily understand it in the sense of like it could still be the way I'm interpreting as well, but it absolutely could be this other way. Again, it's written so coyly. I mean, it's like, come on. Describing the actual precise 6 by 6 foot spot just on your book from your secret Jack the Finder is not going to get him in trouble. Even if we found a 6 by 6 foot spot that perfectly matched it in Yellowstone, okay, we found something that looked like it in Yellowstone. There's no confirmation from Jack. Jack still doesn't get in trouble. We could fucking describe the spot, people. God. What is the subject of the 2023 Indiana Jones movie? Well, in the Time magazine that I have, it looks like they're doing it right around either the Apollo mission, the Apollo 11 getting home, or Apollo 11 about to take off, because there's like a parade, and it's like, we love our astronauts. It's a thank you Apollo. I think it takes place in 1969. In which case, I hope to God they have Short Round in it as an adult. And fuck it. Give him the hat and whip. I'll take Short Round. Forest floor doesn't go along with a rock Karen spot. I mean, I don't know. Why is the earth disturbed? Because of the chest? But it's been sitting there, right? Why is it disturbed? Wouldn't nature kind of take its course and just make it look nature? I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It's getting silly. I'd love to see Short Round return. Right? Good. I'm not alone in that. No, I don't have a good Short Round. Dr. Jones! I used to do a good one when I was younger. None of us can do a good one anymore now we're old, but... You call him Dr. Jones, doll! Shit, I entertain myself sometimes. Oh, wow. You cheat! You no fun play with! There you go. You cheat, Dr. Jones! You cheat! You no fun play with! Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory. It was disturbed because somebody already dug there. I mean, isn't that the most logical conclusion you can get to hearing the words disturbed earth? It's not like Forrest just put the chest there and it's disturbed earth, right? Like, did he dig and find it one day and then come back the next day and go, hey, look, there's a chest with dirt protruding from the spot. Like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm glad you guys like that. It is physically blaze protruding from the forest floor. I mean, and then he looks up and sees the damaged blaze. Where does he see the damaged blaze at this juncture? Like, how does he see a damaged blaze? He's seen the disturbed earth, and then he looks quickly up and sees the damaged blaze. The thing he's been looking for. That he's imagined would be damaged. Does that mean there's a tree right on top of it? Because if a tree fell on top of the chest, you're not going to see it, right? Is the earth disturbed because a tree fell? Is that why it's disturbed? Because a tree fell? Huh? Huh? Somebody didn't dig deep enough. Man, it would suck if that guy really buried it. Like, if he buried it like 2 feet, like, oh, come on, man. In Yellowstone, you buried it? God damn it. Forrest put a piece of aluminum on top of wood box to keep it from rotting so fast. I imagine something like that too, right? The look quickly down is just because it's covering. Question, how deep is the hole? Answer, the semicolon, 9 mile. Oh, where is it? There you go. The blaze and the earth are both disturbed. I'm disturbed at this point. I had roofers put 6-inch deep tire tracks in my front yard a few months ago, and a lot of rain later. Can't even tell. Why is it disturbed? Bingo, right? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, the chest itself sinking into the ground did not cause disturbed earth over time to look just like a mound of dirt on itself, right? That's not how it works. So, what the fuck is disturbed earth, actually? I mean, I'm saying it rhetorically. We all know the answer, do we not? We're all saying it. We're all fucking thinking it.
Smoke weed every day. Hold up. Smoke weed every day. Hold up. Smoke weed every day. Hold up. Smoke weed every day.
9 Mile.
Shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up!
Whoa, guys, I guess you don't want to hear about 9 Mile Hole. Got it. All right, I won't talk about 9 Mile Hole. Ben, I need your help. I don't know how much this coin goes for. Can you help me? Oh, yeah, no, I'd love to, Indy. Send me all the details about it, and I'll tell you exactly what I'll pay you for it. He immediately turned his attention back to the object on the ground. Something was there. That was certain. But it was hard to be sure of what. Something was there. That was certain. Yikes. A river delta would be a great place to hide a chest because of physics. Right? Nature kind of takes care of this hard factor for itself. My issue with hiding it near any kind of body of water would be when seasons change over time. Is there a flood season? Does this chest get caught up in a river shift and fucking swept up? I mean, like, you know, I don't know. I'd want it safe enough away from the river, but close enough to hear it and see it. 150 feet from a river sounds a little far. I'd probably go 50 feet from a river. Eventually, if it's over 1,000 or 100 years, you know, it could change shape, but so be it, I guess. I could tell that there was something on the ground, or something that was just above the ground that had debris on it. What? Okay. I could tell that there was something on the ground, or something that was just above the ground that had debris on it. Thou doth protest too much, Mr. Disturbed Earth. Did you see Disturbed Earth, or did you see something above the ground that had debris on it? Was it debris on top of an item, or was it disturbed earth? Make up your mind, Jack. See, this is the problem. Sent me a photo. Let's see here. I see. uh, um, we'll talk, Indy. We'll talk. I'd like to buy it from you, and I'll walk you through how I would value it, and you can accept that value or you don't. That's fine. But let me walk you through it privately. Maybe I'll buy it. I don't know. I'm not gonna show the coin. Fuck you. Oh, fuck me. Alright, fine. Whatever. I'll show the goddamn picture. And then there's another one where she's holding it. And I'll show that one too. like different little designs, and they're gonna have different shapes and stuff. But whoops, there we go. All right, there you go. You fucking happy? Enjoy. Ben, is there fishing in June? I mean, I would assume so. I don't know. I told you guys I'm not a fisherman. Yeah, pieces of eight. Like, Candy, we'll talk about the price later, though. Yeah. Don't sell it yet, or don't take any. Tell me what your offers are, and I'll tell you when to accept, or when to just counter offer or something. But it doesn't mean a pirate ever owned it. Well, it doesn't mean you don't. But again, there could be provenance. We don't know that what Candy has. You probably can't call it a pirate coin, but you can still call it a rare coin. I like the year. What the fuck was that? That was Donna Karen. Donna Karen. Karen jokes. Ha ha ha. Not rare, says Lori James. Well, again, you don't know the story behind it. It could go anywhere from, like, it depends on the coin, honestly. It could go anywhere from $25 to $5,000. It really just depends. That's why I said I want to talk about it, because it's such a wide range. Did I do the fly giveaway? I haven't done any fly giveaways in a while now. We'll do some soon. We gave away a lot in the beginning. I still have to inventory and all that shit, so I will remember I'm doing that. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with the hunt for the remaining flies and all the other items in this thing. Because I'm putting this somewhere at my spot. I'm just still writing that poem. It's just going to be fucking impossible. None of you guys will solve it. So I'll be able to go get it back in a year. And it'll be mine. Ben, is there any proof besides Fenn and Jack agreed to say it was found in Wyoming? No. Right? Like, no, there's nothing. Aside from that comment, there's absolutely nothing. A canopy of stars. Literally anywhere on fucking Earth. I would never do that, Indy. Come on. Redonkulous. Spanish ship hauling treasure. Aren't they all pirates when you really come and think about it here? Kind of same argument for archaeologists and amateur archaeologists. Some just have credentials. Condor 2. My worry is that a tree has fallen on it since it was hidden. That's the only application I can see for a metal detector. And that would require digging too, technically speaking, probably. But if a tree fell on it, wouldn't we see damage to the chest? If any part of the chest was in the open and a tree fell on it, wouldn't that, you know what I mean? Ben doesn't get mad, he gets even, winky face. It's an accurate statement. Oh, hey, Luli. What's up? You're trusted. I agree it was found in Colorado and Wyoming. I mean, shit. I still like my spot in Colorado, for the record. So, we all do. That's the fun of this game. And we get a little ridiculous. Don't we? Yes, we do, Ben. I know we do. I know. This stuff, that was a cool little jam right there. I dug it. Ah, there was soccer on today, correct? Yes, sir. Fuck yeah. We're gonna put a bet on the old Team USA. I got them at -1.5, plus 111. We'll throw a nice little 50 spot on that. Even though we need to keep the momentum going. We'll win. Oh, I should have just taken the money line. What the fuck am I doing? Although this gets me at I should have just taken the money line. I'm an idiot. Whatever. Or shouldn't I have taken the money? Whatever. You guys don't give a fuck about that. What are y'all up to today? Can we talk about the hilarious Reddit post Tony did for someone to Photoshop the chest being found in the dirt? I laughed so hard I almost peed my pants. Are you talking about the one with the lids showing? Right, Outcast. Do you have documents for the coin's provenance that increases value? Just my story and my word. Does he even have like an email with you, Indy? Even if he has an email with you about the coin, that's provenance. So even if you have an email with him, that would count. Maybe you could get an email from like Shiloh or somebody and get it, and they can confirm, yeah, I know my grandpa gave that to you. I mean, it'd be weak, but it would be better than nothing. Every little bit helps. Even if you have like, how did he give it to you? He handed it to you? Like, he should have had like business cards where he gives them out and go, this person has received an item from Forrest Fenn, like on the business card. I guess you could overuse that. You could use that for anything. Your lid is showing. Ben, you were pretty close to Victoria Peak on your New Mexico dig. Do you know about that treasure story? Oh, I think I do actually. Hold on. Victoria Peak treasure. Just a cache of gold. Southern New Mexico. Spanish missionaries. Yeah. Isn't that determined to possibly end up being on White Sands missile ground? So, like, even if the treasure exists, the government has the property. Right? I'm fairly certain. No? Carrot cake with cream icing. But the Rosario wasn't sunk while in service, so story saying it was recovered from the ship's suspect. Oh. What happened to the Reddit moderator, GPS Colorado Springs to Yellowstone, hacked emails? Brandon, man, I haven't talked to him in a while. I gotta reach out to him. I have no idea. Confirmed Indy's a paid actor working for Forrest Fenn and Pirate Booty. I think Forrest was one of those gracious dudes where anybody who visited his house got a present. You know, they got a fucking coin or an arrowhead or whatever. It's pretty cool. Peralta. Well, we can talk Peralta stones. Josh Jordan would appreciate that. That's what I was starting to get into before I got into the chase, was the Peralta stones. I didn't know what to make of that thing. I saw how they kind of matched to a specific mound area, and you could use the actual heart-shaped stone with this heart-shaped area, and but there were already like holes dug in this specific spot, and like, I don't know, maybe you could test the soil. Ben, correct. Sounds like the Army got it in 1961, but never admitted it. Wild stories, though. Yeah, that's what. It's too bad, too, right? Like, I guess it's worth looking because that could put a lot of people off, and maybe it is just sitting right outside somewhere. But I'm pretty sure all the good theories pointed to an area that the government already had. Thinking exercise. I always love those. If the blaze was obliterated and Stoof did use a metal detector and dug, how would Stoof describe this find to Barbarisi? Saw disturbed dirt? Right, like how do you tell a story and weave a tale while trying to stick to the truth but not getting yourself in trouble specific for like something like that? Yeah, you could describe your actions without saying you took those actions. You saw disturbed earth because you took a moment after digging and saw your own disturbed earth. I mean, there's ways to work around like he's doing, but that's kind of what he's doing points to. That explains the wordsmanship he's using. And Luli, I value my flies. I'm telling you, the 9 flies I put out in that case with the other items, I'm only putting out for a year. You guys have 1 year to find it. If you don't, I'm going back to my spot and getting them back. Because I can go back to my spot. But the other 32 will be given away. I don't know how else you would tell Barbarisi other than this kind of a story. Or you just flat out lie, just from the get-go. All of it's bullshit. Did Jack interview with Dan before he was found out on Reddit? If so, it could all be BS. I think it was already out that people knew he was Condor 2. Or at least no, not yet. It was. No, it was not. So yeah, Jack interviews with Dan before he's found out on Reddit. So Dan has no knowledge of any of the Condor 2 stuff when he's doing his interviews with Jack. At least in my opinion. Now, I've reached out to Dan, asked him if he wanted to come on the show back in like January, and he said, you know, come like May or June when he's doing kind of at least a planned, I think, addition to the book, or I think it's like a paperback version with an epilogue, maybe just a paperback. He's going to be doing a smaller round, and so yeah, he would pencil me in to come on the show. And so this is the kind of question I'd like to ask Dan, like has he been updated or apprised of all the current things like Condor 2? And you know, it's something where like I've tried to follow up, I just recently, like a couple days ago, just to follow up to see if he still can, and like I would probably send him all these questions ahead of time just to let him know, like, hey, if you don't understand this, why don't you go look into this a little bit before, and then so you can tell me an informed opinion. And then hopefully Dan agrees. So we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, it was before any of that. We don't know. All we know, honestly, I'd like to follow. It sounds like Dan talked to Jack via Zoom, but Jack only was using the audio feature of Zoom and not the video feature. I'd like to like get that clear, just for shits and giggles, just to have that clear. All right, Andy, we'll talk about that afterwards. And you got Dan Ferme too. Yeah, it sounds like I mean, it sounds like he's gonna be doing that for us. I hope so. Have you heard back from him recently? I only emailed him a couple days ago, but last time I talked to him was like January. Treasure Mountain printed in bold on the map. On the Too Far to Walk map? I don't have it handy, but does it? Oh, you're talking to Dan today? Oh, that's dope. Well, hopefully he replies to me. Maybe I fell in the weeds. I'll give him another one, or maybe he doesn't want to anymore. We shall see. I'd like to find out more about this picture. When it was taken. Number one. My guess, this picture was taken in like 2001. 2002. You think 2002, Indy? Yeah. Q. I mean, I'll ask him about that. I'll give him a chance to at least speak to that. He could just be talking about certain specific people. I mean, who knows? It's always a good chance. It's always good to give people a chance to follow up on their statements when they're limited to such statements. You know what I mean? When we're limiting people to just sound blurbs, we have to at least give them a chance to follow up to it. I mean, that's just that would be what I would like just as a person. So that's what I would extend to somebody. Oh, you're saying September of 02. You know specifically September 02? That, see, there you go. Fuck yeah, I fucking nailed that shit. How do you know that, though? How do you know? Do you know when his revised book's coming? I think he said June, but I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's like beginning of June. End of May or beginning of June. But that shit always changes, man. I don't know. All that kind of stuff can change at a moment's notice. You never know. Just your own estimate. Okay. I gotta agree though, but we'll see. Strange picture of that chest sitting there though. Especially when you're told, oh yeah, no, he bought it in 06. This picture is not after 2006. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. Did Harrison Ford stay at Fenn's guest house for filming Indiana Jones 4? I don't know. Did he? That'd be interesting if he did. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me at all if he did. $433 days to go. Days to go to what? You know, some of the stuff I used to love on like conspiracy boards was the threads where people would like predict the end of the world was coming. Oh my god. Oh my god. I lived for those threads. And they would have specific dates too. It would always be something like 2 years out, but when enough of them started piling up, like the end dates started rolling in as new ones were getting predicted, and I was just able to be in like all the threads, just going, okay, so it's December blah blah blah, and it's the next day, we're all still fucking here, or it'll be like, oh, it's February 8th, like, oh, the world didn't fucking end, or that solar flare didn't kill us all, oh, we're all still. I would live for that shit. I really would. Every generation in the history of mankind has thought their generation is living in the end times. That's a thing. They all think they're living in end times at one point or another in a generation. It's just always a thing that people think. I don't know why. The world keeps spinning. Yeah, your art is dope, Bill. There's lots of good in this community that should get highlighted instead of the bad. I think this community gets a bum rap sometimes. Sometimes it's warranted. A lot of times it's not, though. We did that 11/11/11 again on 12/12/12. That was then December 20th, 2012. There was what else was there? A lot of people thought we were gonna die in the year 2000 or something was gonna happen. There's been a lot of them. I still do think cyborgs from the future will come and take us over, though. I do think that is a thing, nomadic, by the way. Terminator is real. I was just preparing us for the inevitable. It's gonna happen. Quote me on that. Trust me. We are but scum, pond scum to AI cyborgs. Oh God. You see a little cyborg dog walking around in China enforcing a quarantine? Wouldn't want to fuck with that thing. It's just the beginning.
Get back in your house. That was a warning shot.
Your fucking ears off now? Alright, I'll go back to my fucking house. Ben, scroll up, please. I need your opinion. I'm about to jump on Zoom with my client, and I want to know what you and the community want in the next hunt. I just want stuff for Forest Fens at this point. Commit to buying something of value from the next Fenn auction, not even like from the treasure chest, but like from the Fenn auction. If he has like an antique jewel box that is being sold from the estate, like that'd be something cool to put a proxy in, and you get to keep the jewel box and the proxy and then whatever your prize is or something like that. I want something of Fenn's. That's just my opinion. That's why I'm doing the fly thing at this point. Otherwise, what I'm waiting, I'm not going to do a small hunt unless it's a Fenn item, and here's why. Because I just want the Fenn item. If I'm going to do a hunt, it needs to be a big number to warrant because I get obsessed with shit, and I don't want to get obsessed with something that's not valuable to at least grandiose in theory and thought. So I need a 6-figure treasure hunt if I'm going to go after money. If I'm not going after money at this point, I just want a Fenn item. Fenn coin would be one of the prizes. See, then I'm already interested, right? I might do it just for that Fenn coin that is in it. Honestly, that would be enough to at least have my interest. I would like a Fenn item if it's a relatively low time investment hunt, or at least not low time investment, but low dollar amount investment. And yeah, like in terms of I don't know about these paid hunts. I'll do paid hunts. It's fine. I like to support because it's time and commitment and put in effort and to putting these together, especially a good difficult one. But again, I'm in for me to get obsessed with something. I need something of great value, whether that be a Fenn item of great value that can be obtained by the Fenn family because they're going to be selling stuff. They're going to be, come on, or another Fenn item that happened to be sold throughout the years. There's been plenty of Fenn items sold throughout the day. There might be something really cool out there that would make for a good treasure hunt prize. Packer Jack. It's funny. Oh man, a hunt for the olive jar? Pfft, you got me. Like, I'm 110% committed to a hunt for the olive. Like, if someone were to buy the chest intact, right, and they don't open the olive jar, they like somehow can prove, or they do open the olive jar, and they make it a part of their hunt, so because they need to know the secret, right, or something, like whatever their parameters are, they fucking own it. At this point, I don't care that one other person has read it. If it's a hunt and that one person is going to keep a secret until their hunt is solved, then I would 1,000% jump into a hunt for the olive jar. Oh, I'd be so in. Ben, can you slap me into Discord? I can throw a link down. There's a bird that has just landed in a tree, in a palm tree outside my house, and he just goes beep 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 choo choo the whole time. This bird wants to get laid. Is what's happening. You'll hear it. Jumping on Zoom. Hope you'll still be on when I get back. I think I will be. It's 3 o'clock. USA soccer starts at 4, so I'll probably be getting off in an hour. I gotta go pee. I'll be right back. Oh, that fucking bird. A bell or a jar. Yeah, here's the issue with the bells and the jars. I'm cool with looking for those. It's just there's nothing to take you anywhere. If we could devise a map that's verifiable from something that Fenn has done on purpose with intent behind it, then I'm in. It's just I love Ben's first world problem. There's a beautiful bird in my palm tree making noise. Yeah, but it's incessant. How many are out there? Well, I believe there's 8 jars. Bells, I'm not sure. I don't believe the bells were intended to be found. Not in our lifetime. I believe the jars were, and I believe he makes a very precise point to make with that, and makes the distinction, but veils it in confusion, and everyone kind of starts to say bells and jars together. Oh, the jars aren't findable. They're not meant to be found for 1,000 years. No, the bells aren't meant to be found for 1,000 years. There's 8 jars. He numbers the jars for us. He tells us the jars aren't buried to be found 1,000 years from now. He's telling us the jars are made with a secret bronze technique that he learned. Ooh, secret. He uses the word fucking secret. He tells us that the secret story is in these 8 specific olive jars. This sounds like a backup plan to get his story out. So, Booyakasha. I want to find a jar. I need to find a map that gets me to a jar. I can't just blindly look for a jar. You know, I could go to like the top solves of the poem that I think, and maybe he did the same, and there's jars at those spots. I don't know. Spots from his book that he mentions a lot. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I'm about to go to every 9-mile hole in the fucking country at this point. And I found all 8 bells. Oh, did you read the book? Oh, did you? Oh, how easy it is to say that and type that out, yet Do you? Do you have proof of these 8 bells? The poem solve works on all. See, like, I'd be down for that. The poem solve works on all. If you can find a poem solve in the Rocky Mountains, maybe it's a solve for a jar and not the treasure chest. There's 8 solves for jars, and then there's 1 solve for a treasure chest. I guess. That'd be dope. I could search 9 Mile Falls in Washington. Q. We really need to talk about that. I'd have somebody I'd like you to meet. Just to see if they're real. But we'll maybe talk offline about that. Oh, man. Yeah. Alan and I were thinking of searching 9 Mile Falls. In 1965, 8 hikers died hiking the Maroon Bells. There is a secret to how he buried them, says John Titor. Sure, maybe. I think the secret to how he buried them would be something as akin to a fence post, right? I think there's jars above ground too, as well. Jars at a cemetery above. I think there's a jar sitting in fucking plain daylight somewhere. Redneck, this is what I'm talking about, man. 1,000 fucking % you should. If you still want to get out into the wilds of this fucking Rocky Mountain range that we have, and you have a solve, and get back to your World Waters Halt, and maybe there's a bell or a jar there, I think that's worthy of thought. Honestly, I do. What better way to give us a way to find the jars without telling us to go find the jars than to have multiple solves to your own poem? You know, the solve you created for was, you know, wherever the chest was fine, but you'd make it work no matter what. And this fucking thing, when it took you 15 years to make sure that this poem could solve 8 different jar locations and a treasure location, that would take you 15 years to work. Yeah, now I believe 15 years. Now I'm excited about 15 years. Why it took you 15 years. That makes perfect fucking sense. But if that's the case, let's just, and if someone knows that, who's important behind the scenes, let's just fucking hear it so we know. Or nope, because you know what? That ruins plausible deniability. You can't. It's on faith. It's on faith. And that's the most confounding part of this and frustrating part about this. Fenn placed the solution to the poem in TTOTC. Well, isn't that what a lot of people say? He didn't dig the hole, he filled the hole that was already there. That's another way to do it, yeah. So spots, special spots, camping spots maybe, fishing spots, memorable spots where there's already a hole made by nature, a good spot to put a jar in that you could see with the naked eye and go look. Well, don't fucking hurt yourself doing it though, okay? Just FYI. Are we excited for Team USA tonight? I am. I should be wearing my USA jersey is what I should be doing. Excuse me for a second. USA. Booyakasha, booyaka, booyakasha, booyaka, booyaka, booyakasha, booyaka, booyaka, booyakasha. Costa Rica would have to win by 6 to take the third spot. They have 9 players with a yellow card going in and a yellow card. They're out for the playoff game in the last spot. If I'm them, I rest guys. That's what I'm talking about. I would rest guys and don't miss your playoff game. And this is why I took USA minus a half. They want to fucking ride with this momentum as well. I predict a 3-0. 3-0 Team USA. Can I bet on that? I'm going to bet on that. 3-0 Team USA. Prop bet. Prop bet. USA. Where's the fucking... Let's do this, motherfuckers. Where's the fucking scores? Here we go. USA by 3 or more, plus 820. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. All the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy. $50, make you holla. Dunzo, baby, dunzo. Dunzo. Can I now predict this actual score? Just 3-0 and get that too. I got the plus 3, but give me a 3-0. That's half plus final time. I don't want to do that. Just give me the fucking final time. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, did I do plus 3? Shit. Oh, 3 or more. Yeah, 3 plus. Okay. Alright, 3-0 USA. Where's this? Plus 16, 19. Yes, sir. Another $50. No, not 50. That's fucking insane. $10 on that. 1 goal by Costa Rica. That whole thing's ruined. No. They win 4-1, right? Like, ooh, 4-1 is plus 50. Ooh, God, let's do 4-1. I mean, they're not gonna just lay down and take it, right? Let's do $20 on that to win. Ooh, not 120. That's crazy sauce. $20 to win 1,000 for a 4-1 score. Done. Confirm. Thank you. Pay me my money. Pay me my money. You got plus 220 in the UK exchange? Well, that makes sense with the math, right? I mean, isn't that the same thing, right? Come on, the books are the same. It's just you got the Europeans, you got the, you know what I'm talking about. You got that fucking pound going for you, worth a little bit more. I like a 4-1 and a 3-0 prediction. I'll put my money on that. I like that a lot. A 4-2 gives me plus 10,000. I'll just throw $10 on that just in case. I mean, goddamn, for $1,000 bucks. Dunzo, man. Dunzo. Fun times ahead for tonight's soccer game, ladies and germs. I hope you're excited. I think that's going to be about it, though. It's 3:10. Been on for 3 hours. Okay, bro, what's up? I'm literally about to sign off. Actually, I wanted to see if there were any more bets before. Packer Jack, you're going to put your jersey on. Probably better to go search my warm water hall. Hold up, though. Hold up. I want to be on record. You search. See, this is what the problem is. Search at your splendor, right? But, don't put yourself in harm's way. That's all I'm saying. What's new? Well, what's new? We talked about 9 Mile Canyon. We talked about specifically just that from the raid, because it becomes relevant given that 9 Mile Hole seems to be the solve. Packer Jack blew my mind with this, the semicolon being 9 Mile and the hole. And I was going bonkers over that, going, oh, motherfucker, it's 9 Mile Hole. I'm now leaning back towards it's probably 9 Mile Hole because of this one specific thing. Bets for U.S. soccer. There's a game on tonight for World Cup qualifying, which we have already done. But blah, blah, blah. Did you just say? I mean, I'm leaning towards yes. 9 Mile Hole's the solve. This alone convinces me. Now, there's still issues with the 9 Mile Hole solve. I'm still thinking 9 Mile Hole is probably home of Brown and not the solve. It's still home of Brown, fine, but it's not the solve. You have to go elsewhere. So that sums that part up. And other than that, yeah, 3 hours. We're gonna cut it off here. Happy you guys all showed up. Like I said, go back and check out the Ha 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 reading. It's fun, if nothing else. Hopefully the chat replays on it. Oh yeah, we went over GPS too. I defended GPS. That's about it. So peace out, guys. Thank you so much for being here.